Well, hey, what's going on, guys? So, just doing a little update for you all. I did get to talk to Sarah Sunday. Unfortunately, she only had like 10, maybe not even 15 minutes, and that kind of sucks. She was originally told starting out that day that they were going to get like an hour for the phones. And as the day went on, she did what, all the different things she's got going on, but then she went to some kind of sexual harassment training class thing or something. And not everybody in the platoon had to go to that. I guess some people were doing that, some were doing something else. But the thing is, when she came back, I guess something had happened, something had changed, because by the time it was time for phone calls, because some people had acted up, they weren't doing what they were supposed to do, they were misbehaving, everybody got punished for it by only getting about like 10 minutes of phone time, which kind of sucks. They're in white phase. So, basic training, I think, is like 10 weeks, right? And so, let's see, is it 10 weeks or is it 9 weeks and some change? Training, so we got, it is 10 weeks. And it's divided into 3 phases. Although I think technically, so if you do like 3, 6, 9, there's still an extra week in there, because I think the last week they pretty much are just preparing for things related to Family Day and graduation, since I think that's like a Wednesday or a Thursday of that week. So, I mean, wouldn't exactly want to have something major that they need to finish on like a Monday to Tuesday. But anyways, so that kind of sucked. And I mean, this is white phase that they started this past week. So that means here we are. That was on a Sunday, and what that means basically now is that people that are 4 weeks into Army basic training somehow still do not have it together. They're still just not taking this seriously, and they're not doing what they need to do. And that bothers me in the sense that, for one, that means I didn't get to hear from my wife for very long. Because I know some of y'all kill me, man. Some people are like, oh, when I was in basic training, we didn't get to call home every week. Well, that's because most of you, when you were in basic training, freaking cell phones didn't even exist yet. So how could you? They didn't let me close enough to the rotary phone so I could dial home. Yeah, okay, Lois and Clark. Okay, Alexander Graham Bell. Guess what? Things change. I know that's shocking, right? That like the Army or any branch of the military or any organization, government or otherwise, might, over the years, eventually change a few things or change the way they do a couple of things. I know, that's just so odd. That's like ridiculous. That makes too much sense. Why would they ever do that? The issue is not that they only let her call once a week. That's fine. That's cool. I wasn't initially expecting her to be able to call regularly. The reoccurring theme that her and I found as we watched videos from people that have been to basic in the last few years and all the stuff we've asked the recruiter and everything, the gist of it was essentially that it would be up to the senior drill instructor for that site or that training cycle as far as whether they would or wouldn't. It's up to them. It wasn't something that was set in stone. It wasn't something you could really answer ahead of time whether she will or won't. But she found out just before they headed to basic from reception that they would be able to get to do calls every Sunday. And that's just funny because even though she's been able to call, the last couple weeks has been really short. But again, it's because people are acting a fool. This is not like, okay, well, the drill sergeant told you to do 20 push-ups, and dadgummit, you tried and tried, but your arms gave out on 19, and so everybody gets punished. No. We're talking like people doing the wrong thing, not doing what they need to do, talking when they shouldn't be talking, things like that. And it's just like, everybody is there willingly, guys. No one's being held hostage. If you don't like it, if you can't take it seriously, fine. Go out into the world, go find a job. No one's going to yell at you. They're going to treat you like an adult. And when you screw up, they're just going to fire your ass, and then you have no paycheck, and that's that, So in that sense, the Army's doing you a favor. Listen to them. Follow the process. Anyway, so this week was a little weird. So I had to travel to Melbourne, Florida for some work. And while I was gone, Sarah sent me a couple of letters. And what was funny is what she wrote about in those letters that she sent actually covered some of the things that I asked in the letter that I sent her. So when I mail her, I use a thing called Sandboxx, and that's two X's, Boxx. And I'll put a link in the description. It's not like this video is not sponsored by Sandboxx. I'm not getting any kickbacks from them or anything like that. Although I think if I can refer some people, like family and friends, I think I might be able to get like some free tokens to send her a letter. So basically the way Sandboxx works is the account itself is free, and they have some things you can send them. There's some daily devotional things that you can have sent to them every week for X amount. You can send them stamp packages. There's all kinds of things. But basically what you do is to send letters, you don't pay to send the letter itself. What you do is you buy these little, they're called tokens. You buy a pack of tokens, and whether it's 3 or 5 or whatever. And of course, the more you buy, the less per token it costs. Or you can just do one. You can't just be like send a single letter. But what you do then is once you've bought those tokens, those are added to your little your account wallet. And so when you go to send a letter, you use a token. So that's how it goes. So you have tokens, you can still send a letter, you just got to go buy some more real quick. But the reason I like Sandboxx is because we don't own a printer. My handwriting's pretty rough. I don't think we don't really even have like a notebook or even just a pack of plain printer paper to write on. Or I wouldn't, So anyway, so it's less trouble in the long run, more reliable to use Sandboxx. What you do is you log in, and there's an app for your phone or tablet, as well as I just usually do it on the line on the computer because I prefer to do, when I'm doing a good bit of typing, if it's not just a quick message, I prefer to use a regular old mechanical keyboard, and this is actually the Red Dragon from Pratty, USA. I love that. I got the really awesome mechanical keyboard. It's got the really awesome loud clickety-clackety switches. But anyways, it's a satisfying sensation. But anyways, so I send her letters through that, and what they do, and this is really neat, they send it next day mail, first of all, which is great. But when you send your soldier a letter through Sandboxx, the return postage is like prepaid already. So they've got like a little envelope with a little, hey, this postage is prepaid thing up there in the corner already, so that if they want to send a letter back, they don't have to worry about, I don't have any stamps or I don't have an envelope or whatever. So that's really cool, right? It's automatically built in so they can reply. Also, I sent her a stamp pack. It's got like 20 stamps in it. Her mother did too. So she's got like 40 stamps. So, if there's friends and family that want to write to her, I can give you the address. And I mean, she's got stamps, so she can respond back, But anyway, so this week I'm home. I'm not traveling for work, so it'll be a little easier because I had asked her some questions about, hey, how's the weapons training not starting soon? And aren't you guys going to learn some hand-to-hand combat stuff? And so I asked her about all of that, not knowing that waiting on me here at home was a letter where she actually had already kind of gone over how that went and stuff. So that was kind of funny, like, oops, well, didn't know, I think I did get enough time to tell her that Sunday when I talked to her. I think I was like, oops, well, but hey, that's all right. The great thing is I was able to send those while I'm on the go. So I really enjoyed that. So she told me that, basically the shooting, her actual targeting ability, like her aim is actually getting better, like her shot grouping. But I think she had to go from like standing to like a crouching kind of position to like a prone position, and there's those positions in where the weapon is supported, and then there's those positions where it's not supported, I think is how it goes. And she was saying that going back and forth between all those quickly enough and reloading and properly aiming and getting good on the target, that was where she was kind of having a little bit of difficulty. But look, it's a new thing. Look, we don't own an M4. It's not like she's like running around and shooting one of those things every day at the range or something. Like it's a thing. It takes a little bit of practice and training to get used to it, so that you kind of you just have to have enough time where you've experienced holding that and aiming with it and shooting it, that that you're just more comfortable with it, and that it just it clicks better. I mean, you can learn about it, you can read about it, you can watch videos about it, you can watch somebody else fire one, but until you pick one up and fire it yourself, you just don't know how it's really going to go. That's just how it goes. You just got to do it enough times, right? I mean, like they say, practice makes perfect. So she was worried about that. And I think also it's a little difficult because I think there's just sights on that, not like a scope or anything. So, but I asked her about it. She's like, hey, don't you guys get to blow stuff up? So I'm glad she's doing well. I really do miss her. When we got married, she went off the basic literally weeks before our 4-year anniversary. So when we got married, we had no idea this is where we'd end up just 3 short years later. But I mean, I still fully support her being in the Army, and I think it's a wonderful thing. I think it's a wonderful use of her abilities and talents. I think it's a wonderfully tough but doable challenge for her. I don't think that working at Walmart or cleaning rooms at the Avista will ever really challenge her or make use of her potential and her skills and her education anywhere near as much as being in the Army will. Not to mention, we together combined, husband and wife, get a lot of savings. There's a lot of cost breaks in there, thankfully. And then also there's the fact that it pays more than Walmart. I didn't think Walmart was ever going to take her out of that home goods section, which ended up being like the lowest paying department. It seemed to pay the least out of all the other departments around. And when she got moved over to that online grocery pickup department, where basically if you go on Walmart and you do the online grocery order, she was one of the people that actually go to the store and pull all the items and have everything bagged up and ready to go, so that when you arrive, somebody can roll that cart out there with your grocery order and put it in your vehicle. And not that there's anything wrong with Walmart. I mean, I shop there, and somebody's got to work there. But it's like I always told her, there are some people that, hey, if you've got a steady job at Walmart and you've been there for a couple years, maybe even moved up to team lead position or something, or had a raise or two, I mean, that's great. That for some people, though, that's it. For some people, that is the ceiling based on their potential or their capability or whatever. That's really saying something for them. But then there's other people, such as my wife, that I'm like, no, come on. This is the low end of the totem pole. Like, you can do so much more than will ever be required of you at this job. She's got a bachelor's degree. She's almost done with her master's. Just no. I'm just like, no, there's no way, honey. Like, this is not the best utilization of your internal resources here, like, at all. So I'm very glad that the Army will put that to the test, as well as provide her the experience to become even more capable. So, when you think about it, just without any specific context, just generally just consider it, that's a pretty good thing to get out of a job, and it pays a lot better. So, that's pretty good. But yeah, you get used to somebody being around all the time, and then the only contact you have is a phone call once a week for 10 to 15 minutes and some letters. I will tell you, it's rough. It is rough. She did say to send her some pictures, though, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm really excited to see her for the graduation family day. I just can't wait to see. I bet she looks really awesome in her uniform. And I understand there'll be a little bit of some kind of a demonstration or show, just some kind of little something, little ceremony. So that'll be neat. And that's like around July. But yeah, that's where she's at, and that's what I'm doing. I'm recovering. I had way too early of a morning considering last week. I traveled to Melbourne, Florida for work, like I said, and it was just rough. The hours, the time, the issues that came up, the condition of the site. See, I normally work from home, but our IT department does have at least one or more IT guys at each location, on top of some that actually work remote only. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. That's sort of where that's at. I went down there and did that, and there just wasn't a lot to work with because I was still trying to do calls and work tickets and do my normal schedule in between the things that I was specifically there to do on site. But I had a really old crappy desktop with a 19-inch monitor. I had my laptop with me that's only got a 14-inch screen, but that monitor was old. It only used a VGA connection. If you know what VGA is, it's that weird-looking blue cable, the blue end on the cable for your monitor, and it's got the little things you screw in, and it's like a 15-pin connector, like 3 rows of 5. And anyway, so that's that. That's all there was. And I just thought, man, look, because the thing is, we fired the guy that worked there maybe 2.5 weeks ago. And I just kept thinking, look, there's no way this guy was getting things done at all with this kind of setup. Either he stole a bunch of stuff when he left, or he must have been supplementing what was on site with some of his own equipment. Maybe he had a really nice laptop and his own monitor that he was working out of there. I don't know. But there's just no way without better equipment this guy was getting anything done. So I don't know. But yeah, so I came back and did all that and came back in really late Saturday night. Here I am this week. I'm home, so I won't have the issue where I miss Sarah's letters. So that's good. But yeah, more than anything, just trying to get by, just trying to get to that end point. She said there's a good chance once she gets through AIT a little bit, that she may be able to see me. I might be able to come see her, on the weekends or something, which would be cool. I mean, that'd really be nice. I mean, it's a 2.5-hour drive. It's a day. Going down there, doing something, coming back is definitely something to make a day out of. But it'd be worth it to go see my wife for sure. But yeah, I just constantly try to let her know, hey, I miss you. I love you. I'm really excited that you're doing this. I'm really glad that you're doing this. You can do this. Like, you can do it. So that's cool. That's just kind of that encouragement. She did say she wanted to have some pictures because she was joking about it, but she was also serious when she was like, we don't know anything about the outside world. She's like, yeah, we're just totally cut off. So send pictures, tell me news, tell me things. I think that's getting to her a little bit more than anything. But so that's it, guys. That's the weekly update. That's kind of where I'm at. That's where she's at. And yes, I'm back to just this because why the hell not? I'm at home. It's not like I'm at work. I mean, I'm working, but I'm not on site. So, don't have to worry about that. Anyways, thanks, guys. And by the way, friends, family, if you would like an address to write to Sarah, I sent her a pack of 20 stamps. Her mom, Beth, sent her a pack of 20 stamps. Every time her mother or I or anybody sends her a letter through Sandboxx, Sandboxx gives her the return postage and an envelope so she can send it back. So she's not using any of those stamps. So that's fantastic. That is really good. And speaking of mailing things, I need to send a text message to my mother-in-law because I just remembered something that Sarah told me to ask her that I've got to get to let Sarah know. So, yep, I got to do that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like I said, if you want an address to mail or write her, she'd appreciate that. And we'll talk to you all with an update next week.